Hello, my name is Robert, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a puppet. Well, anyway, we moved to Asheville, and when I moved here, I thought I was liberal. And then some drum circle guy called me a centrist sellout because he said that I recycle instead of compost. In most towns, I'm woke. Here, I'm the problematic uncle. I told people I drive a Prius, and the reaction was like I confessed that I owned an oil refinery. If it's not electric and blessed by a forest witch, I'm suddenly Dick Cheney. You can always tell a liberal town by its farmer's market. Most sell kale. In Asheville, they sell emotional support kale. In fact, when I went to a vendor to go buy some apples, he said, "Robert, these are not apples. These are non-binary orchard fruits. They're crunch companions." I paid $10, and all I got was judged by a pear. I then went to a potluck, and I brought a salad. And so the guests asked, "Oh, was it forged under a waning moon?" I said, "No, Publix." They gasped as though I brought a gun. Then I went and I decided, next day my back was sore. So I decided to go do yoga. I came to stretch. The instructor said, "Oh, let's release our inner oppressor." I said, "Lady, I just want to touch my toes, not repent for colonialism." And then there's dating in Asheville. Anybody here dating? Well, I'll tell you, everyone here in Asheville is poly, pan, off-grid, or trauma-powered. I matched with somebody whose pronouns were them, they, and mostly fermented. I told her, "I'm vegetarian." And she said, "So you murder plants?" I said, "They don't scream." And she said, "Well, plants scream, but not with their mouths." And then you have in Asheville the spiritual arms race. Anybody ever experienced that? Someone says, "I meditate." Another says, "I do yoga." Someone else says, I astral projected into a bear. Me, cool, I just had insomnia and panic. Anybody catch last week where it snowed? Yeah. Well, in Asheville, snow doesn't fall. It descends gently and asks permission from the ground below. And then there's Asheville. People brag about being off-grid while they're texting and tweeting on their $1,000 iPhone. Anybody ever noticed that, huh? Well, I'll tell you, in traffic, in Asheville, we don't have traffic, we have gatherings. If someone spots a bear on 26, they'll stop in the middle of the road, tie up traffic, and take 1,000 pictures of the bear while everyone's waiting. And then there's Asheville's friendliness. Asheville friendliness is going into horror movie territory. Everyone smiles too long, like they're auditioning to be your roommate forever. I waved to somebody at Trader Joe's, and suddenly they're following me to my car, offering me a gluten-free bread. And then there's leaving a party in Asheville. It takes over an hour. You get 15 hugs, 6 compliments, and then they're offering you lentil dip for the road. And then there's the friendly. I get totally overloaded with people being friendly. I almost feel unsafe. It's psychological warfare. I feel like I'm being recruited into a cult or into a neighborhood potluck. Is there really a difference? And then there's trying to leave and go through a door. Everyone is so nice. They'll say, "No, you go first. No, you go first." And you both wind up dying of politeness starvation in a doorway stalemate. And then next week, you'll see a mural downtown about it. You know, we moved here a couple years ago, and I remember saying to somebody, "Hi, I'm new." And suddenly, I have 7 dinner invitations, 4 new nicknames, and someone's mother crocheted me a new hat. But you know, I used to always think that hell was fire and brimstone. But you know, I found that living in Asheville, it's the endless small talk. Everyone's checking in. "You doing okay, puppet?" "No, I'm drowning in Southern hospitality on steroids." Thank you.
Bob Shack.